All. In this presentation, we are going to see about SQL for predictive models. I am Sai Vikas Devsetti. I am doing this presentation as a part of my course curriculum, HAP 671, under the Professor Dr. Sanya Abrahamic. First of all, we are going to see about what is prediction. A prediction is a guess what might happen based on an observation. When making a prediction, it is important to look at possible patterns and current observations. Steps to make a dependable prediction. Collect the data using your senses. Remember, you use your senses to make observations. Search for patterns of behavior and characteristics. Develop statements about you think future observations will be. Test the prediction and observe what happens. Predictions in the real world. Predictions are made in science all the time, but even our daily lives we make predictions every day. Some examples of real world predictions are: as it is raining and the sun is coming out, one could predict there may be a rainbow. A college student is studying hard for their final exam. Really, one might predict they will get an A on it. A child has a fever and a sore throat. One might predict the child has strep throat. Predictive modeling. Predictive modeling is a process that uses data and statistics to predict outcomes with data models. These models can be used to predict anything from sports outcomes and TV ratings to technological advances and corporate earnings. Predictive modeling is also referred to as predictive analytics. Predictive modeling refers to a set of methods that are used to calculate probabilities of various outcomes, typically with a combination of statistics and logic. Each predictive model is designed to come with multiple assumptions which are based on different variables. These variables can be weighted based on how likely they are to be influence future outputs of a dataset. With these techniques, you can forecast predict outcomes. Likelihood ratios. Coming to likelihood ratio is the likelihood that a given test result would be expected in a patient with the target disorder compared to the likelihood that the same result would be expected in a patient without the target disorder. Like sensitivity and specificity, a likelihood ratio can be used to express the usefulness of diagnostic tests. A likelihood ratio is the ratio of two proportions, the subset of people with a test result among all those who have a specific disease divided by the subset of people with the same test result among all those without disease. Now I am going to explain the two questions related to the assignment for this learning material. Question 1. Calculate the likelihood ratio for all the ICD-9 codes in the final table. Question 2. Take the table and bind the data for factors death and diabetes. This means that we should create a column for death with the values 0 and 1 to indicate if the patient is alive or dead, and a similar column for diabetes. Coming to the first question, we'll solve this question in steps. First, load the data from the given CSV files into final table. Clean the table by changing the attributes to the data types of the required type. The columns of the final table should be of the required type to answer the questions. The final table should contain columns ID, ICD-9, AZDX, AZ first DM, AZ death. AZDX is the AZ diagnosis. AZ first DM is the age at which diabetes mellitus occurred at the first time. Step 2. Updating the table with the maximum AZ death with respect to ID to make sure all the records of the ID have same AZ death and loading it into a temporary table. Step 3. Calculating the number of dead and alive people grouped by ID and ICD-9 and loading into temporary tables. We can see the results of these temporary tables in the next slide. Tempex table displays the ICD-9 codes and dead and alive patients corresponding to the particular ICD-9. Total temporary table displays the total dead patients and total alive patients in the given data. Step 4. Create a temporary table combining dead and alive patients per ICD-9 with total dead and alive. By using the following query, we can create a table showing the ICD-9, dead, alive, total alive patients in the table. In the step 5, we calculate the likelihood ratios for all the ICD-9 codes present in the table. After calculating the ratios, I am displaying the top 10 rows from the LR table. This table contains the ICD-9 codes and the corresponding likelihood ratios of patients. Binding the data for death. As part of our second question, we are binding the data for death in this table, and in the next table, we'll bind the data for diabetes mellitus. In this table, we can see the ID and corresponding mortality rate, whether the person is alive or dead. The value 1 indicates that the person is dead, and the value 0 indicates that the person is alive. Binding the data for diabetes. In this table, we can see the ID and the corresponding has diabetes column. Has diabetes column shows whether the patient has diabetes or not. If the value is 1, then the patient has diabetes, and if the value is 0, the patient may not have diabetes. Creating the table and including bindized data for factors death and diabetes. From the tables created in the previous slides, I am combining both the tables containing the bindized death value and bindized diabetes value. In this table, we are showing the ID corresponding mortality and the corresponding health diabetes column. In this table, for a corresponding ID, if there is 1 in the mortality column, then the patient is dead. If there is 1 in the health diabetes column, then the patient may have diabetes. Coming to the conclusion, the topics covered in the slides are what is prediction, what is calculating the likelihood ratio, and calculating likelihood ratios using SQL, binding the data, and we have shown some examples how to calculate likelihood ratios, and I solved 2 questions presented in the previous slides. Thank you so much.